Hi, this is James from Tabletop Gaming Guild, and today we're going to learn how to play PickUp. But with this, we're going to learn how to play the classic rules for PickUp. Now, there's going to be three different types of rules that you can use in PickUp. There's going to be the starter, party, or classic. Starter being the easiest, which is head-to-head. Party being the 2 to 6 player one that you can play little bit more complicated, but you can play just as easily. And then the classic one with the most rules and the most gamer version of the three different ones. And this one is primarily teams, so 2-player team or teams, so it could go 2-player up as teams. So let's go ahead down to the table here, and I'm going to show you how to play the PickUp with the classic rules. All right, so this is PickUp, and this is going to be the PickUp Classic version. There's going to be three different versions that you can play in this game. There's going to be the starter, the party, and the classic. Now, the classic is going to be a 2+ player game where you're going to be playing head-to-head to try to be the first to score 40 points. Now, PickUp puts you in the role of the player coach or general manager, interweaving chance and strategy, position your players on the court, and make trades to build lineups that will score the most points. Now, in this version of the game, you will be using the rookies, you will be using the veterans, and you will be using the front office deals. In this version, you're going to shuffle the PickUp deck here and place the front office beside it. Now, there is a basketball court printout that you can use for this game here that you can print out, which is free on their website, or you don't have to have it. Now, each player is going to get this reference card, and it's going to show you what each of the cards has and can do. In general, the value here, not in general, definitely the value on here shows you how good the card is. And you're going to need that for trade values in this version. Then you have your offensive power, which is going to be 7 here in this case, and defensive power, which will be 6. This is your shooting zones, which is incredibly important in the game. This is going to be what number you have to roll with those 2 dice there to be able to make your shot. Now, you also have special abilities on the cards, which are listed down here on the bottom, but you can hand these reference cards out to each player. Also, you can use this dry erase board here and this dry erase marker here that you get with the game here to keep score during the game. But what you're going to do is you'll go ahead and set this in the middle of the table here. Set the dice off to the side so you're able to play it. Now, each team is going to start off with a set number of these veterans and these rookie cards here. You're going to start off with 3 of the rookies and 2 of the veterans. So you have 3 rookies. I'm sorry, these are the rookies. 3 rookies, which are the ones, and 2 veterans. And the other team will have 3 rookies and 2 veterans. And that'll make up their deck here that you're going to have for each side. The first thing we're going to do for setup here is we're going to set up a trade block. Now, this trade block is going to consist of 5 cards here that we're going to have out in the game. Now, this trade block will be available throughout the entire game. In the other versions, this is going to be something that you would just draft from and put away when you're done. But in this version, this is something that you can gain cards from throughout the game. So this trade row will remain out for the whole game. Finally, for setup here, you're going to roll the dice, and whoever has the highest number, keep rolling until someone does, will be the first player or the first team. So go ahead, and then after that, give each other a fist bump, and you can start the game. So a couple different terminologies that you're going to have in the game here is you're going to have a hand of cards in the game. That'll be what's in your hand. You have a bench. That's going to be the cards that are face down, your discard pile. You also have a lineup, which can be some face down cards here. And you have your court here, which will have 3. Now, these aren't necessarily the way it works, but there'll be 3 cards on each side here for your court with a ball in the middle. You're going to have your trade block, which is going to be this trade row of cards that are available. You're going to have your front end or front office deals here. That'll be up in here. You'll have the player deck here, and you'll have your retirement pool, and that where some of the cards were going to be put out in. All right, so how do you play this game? Well, you're going to shuffle up these cards here, and you're going to create your lineup there. And each player is going to draw 3 cards. Now, on your turn, there's a couple things that you can do. You can plan, you could shoot, and you can draw. So if you plan to start your turn, you're going to draw 3 cards from the top of your lineup, which is going to be what I said right here. And then you can do the following actions in any order. You can get a player or players on the court. Place players from your hand onto any open court position. Now there's going to be 3 court positions you can have on each side. So if I wanted to, I can place all 3 of these out in those court positions. I can pick up a new player. I can calculate the trade value that I have here and what's in my hand. I don't have a hand right now, but I would have 5 here. So I can take a look, and this value here is going to be the trade value. And if I pick this one up, I would take this, discard these because I used them, and that go into my discard pile there. Now, the other things that I can do, so let's say I had, I didn't want to do that. Instead, I could have actually picked up one of these front office deals. Now, these front office deals can be used then or later on to add 3 trade value this turn, or send a player in your hand, court, or discard pile into the retirement pool, which will be up here. Now, those cards are really good because they're going to, later on, you're going to want to not have the rookie in your deck. You're going to want to get rid of that rookie so that when you draw, you're going to have better cards coming out to play. The other thing you can do is you can send a player to your bench. So you can send one of these players to your bench and get a new player out. So they're not clogging those up. You can get a better player out there. One note is that you have this discard pile. Once your lineup deck or your deck runs out, you'll shuffle your discard pile and make that into a new lineup deck. The other thing that you can do on your turn is shoot. Now, let's go ahead and I'm going to set up an example for when you shoot. I know these aren't out here, and when you get from the trade row, they do refill. But we're going to just set up a fake example here for you. So when you shoot, you're going to take a look, and you have this offense and defensive value. These are going to be used to calculate how many points you get. So shooting against this player is not really good because it has a 8 defense, which means you're only going to get 1 point if you win. But however, you will get rid of this card if you win. So that's good. On the other hand, if I do this one's also higher. But let's say we had the reverse. Here we had this card and this card. So this one has an offense of 6. This one has a defense of 2. So I am looking at probably getting 4 points. But there's a couple things we're going to look at. So we're going to say I'm going to go ahead and shoot. And now I'm going to take a look at my shooting numbers that I need to get here. So this is going to be shooting range here. I need to roll a 3, 4, 5, 7, or 9. So this is a pretty good character for being able to hit the, be able to make the shot. In this case, I got it rolled as 7, so I do make the shot. Now, since I made the shot, I will then take my offensive value and their defensive value, and I score the difference. So in this case, I will get 4 points, and you can use the dry erase marker and the dry erase board to write that down. The defending player will get discarded, and the player that won, this player will stay. Now, if it was the opposite, so let's say I missed my shot, then I would have to discard my card, and the defending player would stay. Now, one thing to keep in mind too, along with this, is that when you're shooting against your players, you want to take a look not only at how much you score, but what your abilities are for these players, but which we'll go over in a minute. But that's something to keep in mind. One thing to keep in mind is you're always going to gain a 1 point at least if you score. So let's say we go back to this example. I rolled a 7. I got my shot. However, his defending value is way higher than my offensive value. It doesn't matter. So if it's equal to or less when I'm using my calculating, I'll still get 1 point. You'll always get 1 point if you make the shot. So that's how shooting works. The last thing you're going to do at the end of your turn is you're going to draw. After shooting, move any cards left in your hand to your bench, so that's your discard pile again. And you're going to draw another 3 cards, so you'll have that in your hand, and it'll be the other player's turn. You're going to continue on doing this until someone gets to 40 points. Now, a couple caveats that are very important to talk about real quick is these special abilities. I do recommend that when you put a card out with a special ability onto the court, that you read it out loud so the other players know what it is. So like some of them have where they just occur. Some of them need to have like a certain die roll. But like here, so we have hustle points. After a teammate misses a shot, this card can shoot. So that's pretty cool. P&R specialist. This card switch spots with a teammate on a court during a matchup, which is pretty cool. Now, one thing that can happen here, so let's say this one shot missed, gets discarded. Now this card has a special ability to shoot. If there's no opponent in this part of the court, it automatically, if you actually roll one of the numbers and you get your shot, you're going to automatically get the points that are in the offense. So right here, I'm going to get 6 points just because there's no one there if I make the shot. So again, you're going to have to be able to roll one of these numbers on there. And you can tell how good or bad cards are, not only just from their numeric value here, but also based on the different numbers that you have to roll. The more on here, the better the player is. So that is something to keep in mind when you're picking these, and also their special abilities. Some of them super huge special abilities. And again, even for this example here where I was putting cards out, just remember that this trade row here always stays full. So when you get a card, you replace the card. But that's going to be how you're going to play the classic version of PickUp, which is a little bit more complicated and has a really cool trade mechanism in it over the party version. But the party version is a faster game. Not either of these are very long. And then the starter version is the simplest one here. That's only 2 players and plays pretty darn quickly. So that's going to be how you're going to play the classic version of PickUp. Thank you for watching.